Welcome to the future of design. How creators use symbolic cognition for better design. A field guide for sovereign makers operating beyond guesswork. Prediction is not cognition. Proof precedes power. This video is your entry point into GlobalCmd RAY-D2X. Deterministic reasoning, recursive clarity, auditable outcomes, privacy by design, agency preserved. September 6, 2025, brought to you by GlobalCmd.io. Purpose: equip creators, educators, freelancers, developers, and small teams with a logic-first method that turns fuzzy briefs into reliable, beautiful systems. We translate symbolic cognition into workflows you can ship today, with proofs you can stand behind tomorrow. Who this is for: designers and creative directors building repeatable excellence, indie developers and studios turning concepts into shipping product, educators formalizing thinking for students in design and CS, freelancers and small teams who need precision without bureaucracy, micro-axioms, quotable. Proof precedes power. Clarity is a feature, not an afterthought. Recursion is how ideas learn to stand. Auditability is creative memory. Privacy is the precondition of agency. What you'll learn: how symbolic cognition differs from predictive and generative approaches. A beginner and a professional workflow for logic-driven design. How to measure throughput, errors, and time to ship with deterministic checks. How to embed ethics, privacy, and agency without slowing velocity. How to implement RAY-D2X as your symbolic engine. Why this matters now. Design teams confront exploding complexity, multi-platform, multi-stakeholder, multi-constraint. Predictive tools are helpful, but they guess. Symbolic cognition gives you a map, explicit symbols, rules, and proofs that make your design decisions legible, repeatable, and correct. You get speed without hand-waving, innovation without amnesia. Tension, revelation, initiation. Tension, opaque outputs drift. Teams cannot explain decisions under review. Revelation, deterministic reasoning restores legibility. Every decision has lineage. Initiation, adopt RAY-D2X, ship with proofs, audit on demand, and preserve agency. Chapter 0 o'clock opening premise. Prediction Cognition 218. What is symbolic cognition? Symbols, relations, rules. 742. First principles of deterministic reasoning. 1205. Beginner workflow, from brief to auditable prototype. 1850. Professional workflow, multi-constraint, multi-stakeholder. 27. 10 metrics that matter: time, error, throughput. 33. 25 pitfalls and anti-patterns, and how to avoid them. 39. 40 ethics. Privacy by design, agency by default. 46. 15 RAY-D2X in practice, templates, audits, and proofs. 54. 00. Your next step: read the blueprint, subscribe to Sovereign Logic, build with RAY-D2X. Concepts in plain language. Direct benefit: you get designs that are accurate and explainable because every element is anchored to explicit symbols and rules. Empowerment insight: decisions become teachable. Collaborators can challenge and improve logic without politics. Limitation challenge: requires a short learning curve to model your domain precisely. Privacy safeguard: data stays under your control. Modeling does not require surveillance. Explainability factor: every output is traceable to named rules. No just because. How it works: from first principles. Components: symbols, your canonical building blocks, for example, user, permission, viewport. Relations: how symbols connect. User has permission. Component fits viewport. Rules: deterministic constraints that must hold. Permission implies audit log. Proofs: verifications that rules are satisfied in the final artifact. Audits: rerun proofs as your design evolves. No regressions, no myths. Process flow: kitchen but for ideas. Input: formalization, rule application, proofs, auditable output. 1. Translate the brief into symbols and relations. 2. Encode rules, must, should, constraints, acceptance properties. 1. Run the reasoning engine to derive outcomes or contradictions. 3. Fix contradictions, rerun proofs until clean. 4. Render your design spec, attach proof logs. Symbolic versus predictive and generative. Transparency: symbolic =, visible rules. Predictive generative =, opaque tendencies. Determinism: symbolic =, specific outcomes. Generative =, variable drafts. Control: symbolic =, you steer the rules. Predictive =, you steer prompts. Auditability: symbolic =, proof logs. Generative =, hard to trace lineage. Takeaway: use symbolic for correctness, governance, and repeatability. Use predictive for exploration. Harmonize both with symbolic as the spine. Tutorial 1. Beginner Workflow 1. Identify the problem and desired outcome. 2. Define core symbols and relations. 1. Apply initial rules to constrain the space. 4. Test and refine until contradictions vanish. Document the logic for future reuse. Try it now checklist. Beginner. Are your symbols unambiguous and named canonically? Do relations reflect real constraints, not wishes? Is the output explainable line by line? Have you captured privacy boundaries explicitly? Tutorial 2, Professional Workflow 1. Map the full constraint surface: business, legal design, and technical. 1. Build a robust symbolic model with typed properties and priorities. 1. Implement advanced rules for edge cases and failure paths. 1. Set iterative audits, pre-merge, pre-release, post-incident. 5. Adapt based on feedback and measured performance. 1. Integrate ethical and privacy safeguards from the start. Try it now checklist. Pro. Can the model absorb new requirements without rework? Are ethics and fail-safes executable, not just documented? Do stakeholders understand decisions via proofs, not slides? Are privacy and security constraints encoded as rules, with fast cognition? Throughput, 42, 68 error percentage, 3.1%, 1.7% time, minutes, 12.0, 7.2 workflow bar. 68 100ths before versus after bars. 12.0 versus Naoshi. 7.2 weekly output blocks. 12, 18, 22, 20, 26, sparkline, Naoshi, higher block equal sign higher value. Pipeline input, reason, deterministic out. Metrics, pitfalls, and anti-patterns measure success. Time saved, shorter cycle time from brief to approval. Accuracy, fewer rework cycles, less variance across designers. Error reduction, drop in production defects and rollback events. Privacy checks, documented minimization and consent paths. Common pitfalls, skipping audits when it looks good. Over-automation that outruns human oversight. Murky ownership of symbols and rules. Mixing labeled and unlabeled data without provenance. Safeguards and ethics. Disclose all automated steps in the pipeline. Keep human override paths live and easy. Maintain immutable decision logs. Default to data minimization and purpose binding. Case sketches, condensed. Brand system unification, symbols for tone, color roles, accessibility thresholds. Rules ensure contrast and legibility. Audits catch theme regressions before release. Product sign-up flow, permissions encoded as rules. Every UI path produces an audit log event. Privacy checks run on every build. Classroom studio. Students model project briefs as symbols. Grading references proofs, not vibes. Implementation patterns with Ray D2 CAS. Start small. Model 1 workflow, for example, component theming. Encode must-should constraints. Attach acceptance properties. Add audits to CI. Publish proof summaries to stakeholders. Gradually widen coverage. Content pipeline, pricing pages, onboarding flows. Use contradiction reports as a design conversation starter, not a blocker. Starter template, copy-paste into your process. Symbols. User, role, permission, component, theme, viewport, consent, relations. User has role, role grants permission, component fits viewport, rules, must. Permission implies audit log, user, action, timestamp, theme contrast, WCAG target, consent scope binds data use, no silent expansion rules, should. Component variants prefer semantic tokens over hard-coded values. Errors degrade gracefully with human-readable explanations, properties to verify. Completeness, consistency, non-contradiction, accessibility. Tooling map, RAD2X GlobalCmd, symbolic modeling, rule execution, proof logs, audits, your design stack, Figma sketch tokens exported and validated against rules, your dev stack, CI scripts call proofs, failures block merges with clear diffs, getting started rapid one. Pick one decision that recurs weekly, for example, component state rules. 1. Name the symbols, write 3 must rules. 1. Run RAD2X, resolve contradictions. 1. Attach proofs to your design doc. 1. Expand symbol coverage every sprint. Governance without drag. Proofs create alignment quickly, no endless meetings to align. Designers teach the model remembers. Stakeholders audit logic in minutes, not weeks. Security and privacy covenant, no telemetry, no shadow logging, nothing leaves unless you say so. RAD2X is built for privacy by design and agency by default. Your logic is your IP, your proofs are your leverage. Vacues. Q. What is symbolic cognition in design? A. Representing knowledge with symbols, relations, and rules to produce clear, predictable outcomes that are explainable and auditable. Q. Why choose symbolic cognition over predictive AI? A. Predictive tools draft, symbolic tools decide. Use symbolic when correctness, governance, and repeatability matter. Q. How does symbolic cognition improve productivity? A. Deterministic checks reduce rework and guess loops, accelerating time to ship while improving quality. Q. What tools help me learn? A. Ready2X and the GlobalCmd.io Knowledge Center, guides, templates, audits, and subscription paths from free, pro, all access. Q. Is my data safe? A. Yes. Privacy by design with explicit consent scopes and data minimization embedded as rules. Q. Can I use this in creative media? A. Absolutely. It turns abstract creative intent into constrained, high-quality deliverables consistently. Q. What are the key ethical considerations? A. Transparency, user agency, and privacy. Encode them as executable rules and prove they hold. Glossary. Symbolic cognition. Structured reasoning with symbols/relations/rules. Deterministic engine. Same inputs plus rules equal sign same outputs every time. Explainability. You can trace any decision to concrete rules. Privacy by design. Data protection is built into the system, not bolted on. Agency-driven automation. Tools that augment human judgment rather than replace it. Credits written by C. Whitney. Produced by GlobalCmd.io. Engine. GlobalCmd R82X. Music and footage licensed. No third-party tracking. License and use educational and promotional fair use permitted with attribution to GlobalCmd.io. Do not redistribute proof artifacts without owner consent. Call to action. Threshold not command. Read the blueprint. Subscribe to Sovereign Logic. Build with Ready2X.